Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and if you're coming onto the feed, welcome. And I wanted to talk about dissociation from illusions and understanding that our formlessness, our meditative state, our physical body can play tricks on us, and to see how we can play with optical illusions and to allow them to be incorporated in such a way to where we can optimize it and be putting it in a sense in a format to where it meets with our vibratory state, where it meets our vibration, to where we can generate illusions and not identify with the illusions or the objects or the sense perceptions, and not have this subject to object relationship to the way that we view reality, and to try day in, day out to disassociate from what it means to be human, what it means to be here, what it means to be now, what it means to be present, and how can you disassociate from your illusions from day to day, moment to moment? How can you disassociate from your anger? Your anger is a real thing. Your anger is real. Our triggers are real. Our emotions are real. So all those things are real, but they're still illusions. So we have to see with our own perception what is reality and what is not reality. What am I and what am I not? Can I confirm what I am instead of confirming all the time what I am not? So confirm what you are and confirm what you are not. So everything is made of you. Money is made of you. Manifestations are made of you. Psychic awareness is made of you. So understanding how can you associate yourself with the illusions and the manifestations and the appearances and the experiences that you have within your own reality. How can you associate yourself with that and disassociate yourself with the illusions that you are being presented that don't resonate with you, that don't fit your vibratory nature? And understanding that a meditative state is an illusion itself. Meditation is an illusion. So we have to understand that formlessness is an illusion. But what's beyond formlessness? What's beyond the great absolute? What's beyond the absolute reality? The great beyond. And we have to realize that that I am is that great beyond. So when the I am is present, when the I am is realized, we realize that we are not the mind, we are not the body, but we are the soul. So every time that we take time out of our day to just quietly but confidently disassociate from our illusions, we can allow ourselves to see that maybe my anger is something that I'm giving my power away to. Maybe my anger is something that I need to feel into, and I need to receive from that, and I need to breathe into that healing energy within myself to kind of get past the anger. So don't demonize the anger. Don't demonize the triggers or the manifestations or the experiences that you attract to yourself, but realize that they're just illusions and that they can shift and that they can fluctuate. And as the illusions that you are able to disassociate from, you're able to optimize it and to make different optical illusions within your own quantum realm. And with that heightened sense of awareness, you can see that the illusion can change into every single geometric shape that you want it to. So understanding that your reality and your paradigm can change and understand what you are. So we cannot really understand what reality is if we don't change our perception. So when we don't change our perception, or we're unwilling to change our perception, then our perception allows us to make things appear that don't fit within our vibration, that don't really make us feel happy, that don't make us feel like we're manifesting anything. And it's not just writing it down or thinking about it, but it's envisioning it and embodying it and just being it and feeling into the vibration itself, so that you can identify with what you are and have that identification of the I am instead of that implication of your false self, of the imposter syndrome that we find ourselves in a lot of the time. So just because we have a meditative state does not mean that that meditative state is not an illusion itself. It is an illusion, but it's just getting us back to where we can prime ourselves back in and kind of get into a heightened state of awareness to where we're manifesting everything all at once simultaneously, but we're also just getting back into sync with our soul and getting back into that formlessness. But we're trying to get past the formlessness itself and getting past even the nothingness of ourselves even. So understanding everything is an illusion. So it's all based about your perception and wanting to embody it and wanting to imbibe it, but also wanting to become it, but also envisioning it and allowing the vision to become who you are, and then you implicate the vision, and then the vision has no choice but to become who you are and reshape and encapsulate everything that you become, because you are going with the current or going with the flow, if you will. And I haven't been live for 3 days because I've been going through a lot of healing, a lot of integrating, and a lot of triggers myself, because what I've been going through is that I have to disassociate from what I am not and what is holding me back, or what I think is holding me back, or what are my triggers, or what is my anger, or what is my inability to, want to get past it. So I'm just saying things very general so that maybe you can get a sense that, like, wow, I relate to that, or I identify with that, or maybe that is speaking to me in such a way that it's making me feel like, oh, that's resonating, because I say things general and I don't necessarily talk about my own things, because I want everybody to kind of understand that this is just up for face value. So you understand that the power of now and the present moment and the generation of energy, and realizing that you can change every type of illusion within your life to where it is generating the illusion of God, because God itself is an illusion, because God is not a solid object. God is not a man who's trying to make you be fear-based and wanting you to be condemned or judged. So if we put the limitation off of God's source energy and put the limitations off of ourselves and not equate ourselves with a solid object, but equate ourselves with oneness, with divinity, with orchestrating a divine intervention, with the way that we create and the way that we can use our imagination to disassociate from distorted illusions. Because if we get ourselves caught in a thought process or an illusion or states of beings that are lower vibration, lower energy, and are falling out of alignment in a sense. So we fall in and out of alignment all the time. And the reason why we do this is because we're fluctuating energy. There could be 6 months of your life you're feeling great, you're feeling high, you're feeling amazing, but then you have those peaks and then you have those valleys. And then what happens is that we get a lot of healing, but we're also integrating and we're also learning and we're persevering, and there's an arc becoming of our journey. There's an overarching way that it just becomes more heightened, and it's more like a pyramid. So there is, like, yes, the wheel of change, or like you can say that love is a circle in a sense. You can visualize it in any way that makes sense to you, but the way that we keep progressing is like a pyramid. But then it turns into Metatron's cube, to where it encompasses every type of geometric shape, to where you are able to encompass yourself, seeing yourself outside of the box. You're seeing yourself outside of yourself. And you can't even be beside yourself because you're so outside of the realm of your own human self. But what the human self is wanting to come back into is that nothingness, is that formlessness, because the higher self has encompassed your body as a vessel. So you understand that you've allowed the higher self to take your vessel and to allow you to be the nothingness, the formlessness, the essence of God, that aura of God, because the higher self is like you but on fire. But it's more as if you're glowing, kind of like Edward off of Twilight, in a sense. Like you're glistening, but like 10 times glistening. So, but you're not a physical body. You're not having a brain aneurysm. You're not feeling any pain, in a sense. So you're trying to experience heaven by disassociating from your illusions, from your deluded self. Yes, you can get a psychic reading. You just have to message me on TikTok, and I'll work within your budget. and we can discuss that and book a private session anytime. So when things are more unified and are more balanced, and you're more passionate about the flow of your Holy Spirited flow, so the way that you can come into your Holy Spirited flow is to see that don't suppress anything that comes about healing. Don't suppress anything that comes about being pushed to something or wanting to meet a person or just wanting something new out of your life, because sometimes we can become complacent and become comfortable and become stale within our vibration because we're not willing to try something new. So out with the old and in with the new. And throughout your day, all you have to do is see what you are not and stop implementing that you are that. And then you can put everything in a ball of energy, and you can absolutely throw it back to the sun and give it up to God. And also just give up your allegiance to whatever it is that you're believing. Because that's the point, is because if you keep believing something, you identify with it. And then when you identify with it, all you're going to get is faced with it. You're going to get like it's going to be like a food fight. And it's just, you're just going to keep throwing food at people, and they're going to throw food at you. And it's just going to get really messy. And it's just not going to be conducive, and it's not going to be very helpful. And why it's not helpful? Because it's painful. And then it generates more suffering, and then it generates more pain, and generates more dysfunction, because you keep giving your power away to the dysfunction. So when we stop giving our power away and allegiances to these biased things, this giving up our human biases, and having true acceptance beyond our own biases, allows us to see past the veil of illusion, and allows us to see past the veil of amnesia, and allows us to lift the veil above our eyes and start to close our eyes, and knowing that we're not being led by sight, but we're being led by faith. So it allows us to understand that we are not here, but we are now. We are forever, we are internal, but we're also surrender. Surrendering is a very big thing about spirituality, because it allows you to see that by surrendering your allegiances to your biases, to your beliefs, to the negative entities, to the distortions within your life, when you make that step to let go and surrender and to give in and receive, there is a transformation that takes place. There is you implementing all the things that you have been taught, and you're encompassing it by wisdom, and you're wanting to be more harmonious, meaning be more still. It's subtle, but it's effective. We're becoming subtle, but more effective. So you don't have to be overzealous. You don't have to have any type of flair. You don't have to be a successful person, because the most successful people are not very amazing at all. I can tell you this, because the most successful people in the world, they pick one thing and they hone in on that, and then they run with it. So that means that it doesn't take rocket science to do spirituality. It doesn't take anything to do spirituality. It comes through major sacrifice, but you're letting go of all the things that are costing you in a big way, because you're letting go of all the things that try to accost you, and also all the things that are costing you things out of your life. It's going to cost you a lot of things, but you're letting go of all the things that are trying to accost you and cost you and tax you, because you can't be taxed for so long, and you don't have to have your energy drained anymore. And God does not want us to do things out of a sense of, what's the word? I'm having a brain fart. Being desperate. God doesn't want us to do things out of desperation, or feeling obligated to do something for someone when they haven't done anything for you, or feeling obligated that you have to see your family when you don't really want to see your family, or feeling obligated to do that thing that you've been doing it for your boss all the time, and he keeps asking you, but he never asks anybody else. And then one day you say no, and then you see how the tables have turned, and then everybody's like, what the hell? He said no. Well, because you're saying no and making a statement that I'm not going to have that in my vibration. I don't want those people around me. I want peace in my life. I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to be able to be reciprocated. I want everything to allow myself to pick my own battles and to know that I'm running my own race, in a sense. So, being sensitive and being vulnerable and being open is not wrong. And it's not more right either. We have to get out of the realm of right or wrong, because then we have lost the narrative. So when we let go of being right or being wrong or being this or being that or being this person or having this belief or having this opinion or feeling like this, I own this person or I possess this person, when all that's just very negative and distorted, and it's painful. Because if you feel like you possess your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or anything like that, then you don't know what it means to be formless. Or you feel like, even when we're parenting people, even though I don't have children, but at the end of the day, they're going to grow up and they're going to live their own lives. So at the end of the day, you have to pick your battles like, okay, I have to let them grow on their journey and expand within themselves. And I can't force them to do it, because then I'm trying to control people. So you can't control anything. You have to let go of the sense of having to control everything. I think that's what's wrong with a lot of spiritual teachings and like law of attraction and stuff like that, is that people think that they can just say something or write it down or think it, and then it's going to happen. Well, I don't think that will happen. You have to envision it and you have to embody it, and you have to really immerse yourself within the experience before the experience happens, so that you can be there and already be there, and it's already happened. And you already put it in your vortex, so you don't have to worry, so you've already let go of it. So it's really just understanding of letting go of associating yourself with things that don't matter. So a lot of the times we give so much matter and so much care and so much time to things that always drain our energy and don't allow us to have enough time to really wake up in the morning and just get into that groove and get into that swing of things. And this morning was really the only time this week that I was able to really meditate very well, because I've been going through a lot of shifts within our vibration, and I've been going through a lot of healing, I've been going through a lot of integrating, and also just a lot of expanding within my own self. And it's been like troublesome for me to just wake up in the morning and meditate. But sometimes you have those days where you might need to just take some time for yourself. You might need to just hide away and maybe not be near civilization, and if you have a job, then people better like keep their distance. Sometimes it's like that, because within ourselves, our chakras are expanding so heavily, and we're just getting so heightened, so expanded, and everything just gets so filled up with spirit, that at some point you got to release more and release more, so that you can intake more and receive more, and to be able to be a conductor of energy, but also be the energy of self that is able to draw in everything, to draw in that electrifying energy, and to be able to encompass that all the time. But sometimes our chakras get so big and our awareness gets so high, and our empathicism, I don't even know if that's a word, I guess my higher self's making up words. Empathicism, let's just use it. And we're so empathic more that sometimes we're hearing the cries of the universe. Sometimes we're helping another entity with healing. Sometimes we're feeling the whole hurt of the collective. Sometimes we're doing things in our dreams, and then we wake up in the morning and we're like, why the fuck am I tired? Like, why? What's going on with me? I mean, I've woke up like 2 mornings where I just felt absolutely like tired, and I wanted to go back to bed. Even if I had a cup of coffee, I wanted to go back to bed, because maybe I was like Jack Ryan in my dream, and I was helping somebody, or I was doing a soul retrieval, or I was helping, little children get past people or something. Because we're always doing something. Our soul is happening all the time. So it's like sometimes we need to understand that our soul is doing something all the time. And we're going 24/7. So sometimes we need to put the foot on the brake and just go into cruise control and see that it's just fine. We need to just take it easy. Because when we do stuff and we don't take it easy, and if we do something that just feels desperate, that feels like not conducive, that doesn't feel like, in vibrational alignment, then why would we do that? Because then it's out of a sense of desperation, and then we're going to get caught in between a stale reality into a reality that doesn't fit within our vibration, and then we're going to be in between, and we're going to be in between the past and the present, and then sometimes even the future. So sometimes you can be caught in between the past, the future, and sometimes you can be caught in between the present and the past. But you need to understand that you are the past, future, and present. But you want to be here. You want to be in the middle finger, okay? I'm laughing at myself, but you want to be here. You want to be in the present, because the future, you can hope for the future, you can visualize the future, you can try to be in the future, but where are you now? Who are you missing out on the now? Are you missing out on what's here? And sometimes if we're looking back too much, and then we're also missing out on where we're at here. So sometimes we're in between the past and the future. And that does not allow us to disassociate from our illusions, because it doesn't allow us to see past more of what we are. It doesn't allow us to see past ourselves, or get past ourselves, or our arrogance, or insistence upon our resistance. Because when we're insistent on being resistant, then we're very consistent at suppressing who we are. So suppression is the worst thing. Resistance is the worst thing. But allowing and receiving and being transparent and being a transducer and being translucent with the way that you are able to be here, now, and forever. Forever and always. And once you just stop giving your power and allegiances and stop projecting what you don't want, because when we project what we don't want, or when someone says that we're very sensitive, and then we're like, no, I'm not sensitive, and you kind of bow up, and you're being a tough guy or a tough gal, and you kind of say, I'm not sensitive. Well, you just proved yourself wrong. Even though there is no right or wrong, but for the sake of what I'm saying, you just proved the false narrative. You just proved that you are sensitive, and it's something that you may need to look at. But this message is just enough for me, and also it's for everybody else who wants to receive it. So, last couple of days I have not really been, at my best. But we're not designed to be at our best. We're not designed to be perfect. We're not designed to be all the time, because we have to integrate back to ourselves. So we have to be in line with our formlessness, and we have to be aligned with our human body. Because we're still a human, but we're separating more from what makes us human. And what I mean by what makes us human actually makes us more human. Because when we disassociate from that unconscious human, we become more of a conscious being, and we become more of a channeled human vessel of Christ consciousness like Jesus was. I say that a lot, but it's true, because even though we are God's source energy in human form, we are still a human, and we're still going to have those things flying around. But the amount of times that we can limit it, and we can be aware of it, and we can be cognizant about it, and we can recognize, and we are able to finally think for ourselves, and then we're able to rapid fire use that positive reinforcement to change the polarity to where we can change the way that we're flowing with life, and also the narrative and the theme. So, I think that was my message, but I want to do some healing energy. So if anybody would like to receive this healing energy, you can receive it. So also, I am doing psychic readings and healings and activations and stuff. If you want to message me on TikTok, you can message me. I'll work within your budget and we'll discuss pricing. So if any of you would like to book a private session with me, I did have a $50 special, but Spirit told me to work within people's budgets. So whatever I can do for you, just let me know. I don't know if you don't tell me, but also I let people know about my $50 special and they didn't want to take it on. So that's okay too. So don't worry about that. But I'm going to do healing energy tonight. I also do meditations as well. There's a guy on here who has seen me a couple of times now, and he knows that I do meditations. I also do healing energy. I have channeled before. This is White Wolf, so if you're coming onto the channel, and also on other platforms, just know this channel is for spirituality. And also you can find me on YouTube, White Wolf the Oracle, Love, Light, and Wisdom, Instagram, White Wolf 4741, and BitChute, White Wolf the Oracle 23_@symbol. So we're going to do healing energy. If you want to learn how to do a modality that I do, it's called Super Mudra Energy. All it is just rubbing your fingertips, moving your hands in a circular motion, also holding your hands like this. So if you want to learn a quick healing modality, you can learn right here. So, but let's do some healing energy, and I think I've talked enough. So, okay. So everybody take a deep breath. Also, you can focus on an object. You can write in your notebook when you're in a meditative state as well. So, breathe and receive this healing energy. So when you're doing Super Mudra energy, you can move your hands in any type of motion that you want to. It doesn't have to be a certain motion, but the basics is basically you can just move your hands in a circular motion. You can also squeeze your palms to charge up the energy. Also rubbing the fingertips is like so, and holding your hands in this position. Expand your Cashapp record now. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, the Intergalactic Council. My 6 dragons are going to come in, the Source Dragon as well. Unicorns. The Apostle Paul. Jesus is here helping me with this healing. And also the God Ra. He's going to help us with our densities of consciousness. Heart activation now. Violet flame energy from the 9th dimension. Be able to look at your illusions from day in, day out. Allow yourself to let go of the identification of them. If you need to give into whatever sensation, whatever trigger, whatever type of emotion first. Then receive that healing energy, receive that quantum acceptance, and receive that acceptance beyond your own personal biases. Be able to breathe and receive that. Confirm what you are, and also confirm what you are not. Just say, I am not this illness. I am not these sense perceptions. I am not these subject to object relationships. I am not relationships. I am not my own suffering. I am not my body. I'm even not my formlessness. But I am the great beyond. Allow light codes to be sent out to all of you to reprogram the DNA, our thought processes, to help with the body and the mind and the spirit to be one with the higher self. Feel as if you're walking on air. Feel as if you're taking a walk in the clouds. Just feel like how a paradigm can shift, an illusion can shift. An optical illusion can generate into anything, into virtually anything. So let's just say that you're in Paris for a moment, and then you're on a black sanded beach. But then maybe like you want to be into a different realm and to embrace that sense of interconnection and inner energy transference to where it can be so in flow but also fluctuate to where you can understand that meditation is an illusion and also meditation is a choice. So what are we meditating about? Are we meditating upon our own selves? Are we just meditating to feel good? But also, are we meditating in a sense to reach the great beyond, past formlessness, past a nothingness, and to realize that the great I am is infinitesimally aligned to where you can say that love is a circle. You can say that at all times everything is an energy transference. So if everything is an energy transference, then that means that we're always cycling through our energy. So we go through a lot of different moon cycles. We also go through a lot of energetic cycles. And we're also just going through peaks and valleys in a sense. And that's just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because it gives us a sense of we're doing everything that we can. We're right on time, we're right on schedule, we're doing everything that we need to do on our spiritual journey. And by doing that, and following the alignment that is there, that is present, that is aware of itself, an African shaman has stepped forward, and he has a chant that he is relaying to a lot of you right now, because he also has a didgeridoo. And so, as he's playing this, and doing this chant, as he's playing his didgeridoo, just know that you can treat it as if it's like an ayahuasca ceremony. And we're also going to be tapping into a Black Panther type of energy. So what this means is that the Black Panther energy enters into your being, and it releases all of the toxins and also allows you to go through something that is very divine. But it's more than just going through the ceremony itself without having to really take it. But it's allowing yourself to know that you all have this in your system. You all have ayahuasca in your system. So, if we have this in our system, then we can be the system itself. So tap into that Black Panther energy and allow this African shaman to relay his magical didgeridoo and his chants and his stomping his feet. You know, he's multitasking right now because he's awesome. He is an awesome being. And we also have the Galactic Federation of Light that are also coming in, and they're just sitting around us, observing, but there's also telepathic powers that are being transferred from the Galactic Federation of Light to you from their third eye. So they're talking to you without having to really speak to you. So they're almost showing like this bionic 12th dimensional blue light going from everybody's third eye through their causal chakra and then back down through all of the other chakras. So in a sense, we can have the Galactic Federation of Light to thank for this, because they're allowing us to not really read minds. It's not just about reading minds, but it's about connecting with the facets of the universe using our consciousness. Knowing that we can see someone on a TikTok video and we were like, wow, that energy is so beautiful. That energy is so transcendent. And you're able to see aura. You're able to see the magic that is around you. It's just heightening your senses. It's trying to get you to see more of the divine within your life. Lastly, we have Lady Magdalene to pour oil under our feet to give the symbolism of anointing, to give the symbolism of the gift that gives that that brings on the giving. It's very powerful. I can't even speak. So, with this, meaning that you are doused in the essential oils of Source, you are anointed, you are called, you're empowered and equipped, and that you're here to be your best. So, anyone who receives this can receive a ceremony of ayahuasca without having to receive it. Ingest it, I mean. Okay, everyone, as the transmission is coming to a close, we can all take a deep breath. Exhale. So when I snap my fingers, you'll come back to. You'll have a greater sense of clarity. You will know who you are. And you'll become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, which is God in human form. And so it is. So, thank you guys for tuning in. And so for the people who did receive this, because I do see that, and yes, I do the eye roll thing because I've always done that. It's always been a thing. I've done it for 3 years. And yes, it does look weird, but I'm just channeling my source of creation. I can't help that happens, but it just does happen. And I'm not going to disagree that it looks weird, but it's just me doing what I do as a divine orchestration of my higher self, channeled from the physical body. So, and you're welcome that I did that eye roll thing. So thank you guys for coming on to the feed. If you ever come to this channel, just know that you can always receive healings, that you can always get messages, that you can always just see what it is about your spiritual journey and what you need to do. And also, if you have questions, also, I will work within your budget if you would like any psychic readings, healings, activations, and things of that nature. So, without further ado, this is White Wolf. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. And God bless and namaste.